just got our tickets to Bacharach. Our next stop, all you do is you press English, single tickets. That's what it was, €250 if you want an additional ticket. Exact money only. We put the €5 in there, and our tickets came right out over there. The little tickets. This regional train makes a gazillion stops between Koblenz and Mainz. Bacharach. Above town is, guess what? Another castle. The town hall, I'm hoping the information office will be open, but it is Sunday, so who knows? It opens at 10 o'clock. Just another great tourist office in another great little medieval town. They rent e-bikes, and look at all the information that they have here. Tons, whatever you need to know.
Cars coming to run you over.
Well, I wish I was still a little girl. My sisters and I would have loved all of this in a little for one night. We're on the 3rd floor. Doesn't get much higher than this. Side view, which I prefer. Better this than on the main street. Ooh, nice big bathroom, the usual minute shower. You have to be so careful not to fall in or fall out. But who's complaining? Not me. We've got 2 more hotels to go after this one today, and then it's on our way back home. The heat wave is still continuing in Europe, with Frankfurt had its highest temperature ever yesterday. That's pointed to the donkey path that leads around the town. Building began in the Protestant Church of St. Peter approximately around 1100 and was completed with the church tower in the 14th century. There are 2 side galleries, an organ loft, medieval fresco paintings, and half columns on pedestals with decorative pendants on the keystones. And, of course, a number of tombs from medieval knights and noble families. Great old tombs. This particular capital has a naked woman with snakes sucking her breasts. It's supposed to be a warning about adultery, the consequences of adultery. I have no idea what this one is supposed to be a warning for. These 3 fragments still remain from medieval times, only because they had been plastered over. It's almost time for Mass. Old walls, the many towers, and there are 3 entrances into the old town. And this is one of the 3 entrances. Bacharach was founded by the Celts, and later on it passed into possession of the archbishops of Cologne. And the well-preserved town fortifications date from the 14th century, actually built 1322 to 1366. Hostel was formerly the seat of the Knights Templars, founded in the 11th century, and is a fine patrician house from the time of the Thurn and Taxis family. Oh, the winding staircase is all one piece. We're eating at the old Posthof from 1393. Of course, it's been redone a few million times, but it's interesting that the wine we're drinking, the Middle Rhine, is from Oberwessel, where we stayed last night. We ordered a giant salad, a Geschmeckter salad with chicken and a Mediterranean, now I forgot how you call it, Flammkuchen or something like that. Anyhow, it's a variation of pizza. Charges 1.50 euro for a glass of ice. The second entrance to the town is called the Marktturm. They're doing a little work on the old house. The house on Market Square is one of the Rhine's most famous medieval half-timbered buildings. Rhine now owns its fame to its vineyards and wine trade. Vines were planted here during the Roman times. In other words, it's pretty darn old. There is a long story about the chapel of Werner. The dead body of a boy, whose name was Werner, was found here, and a professor, Pauli in Trier, concluded that the boy was probably sexually abused and then murdered. The Jews were accused of killing the boy and using his blood for their rituals, which there is no documentation, but it probably set off a new pogrom where everybody ran around screaming, "Murder all the Jews." And this is where he was buried. Actually, the locals then regarded Werner as a saint, and the chapel was built in his honor, attracting huge numbers of pilgrims. The chapel was destroyed in 1689 during the Palatine War succession, and it is protected as an ancient monument. Castle Stahleck was first mentioned around 1135, but today it's a youth hostel. Great breeze from the arrow slits. Now we continue going that way, upriver, and there's a bike path that goes all the way.